Welcome to this practice. We're going to be looking at how we can balance the mind between the 6 stations, these radio broadcasts of thought that can seem so intrusive and invasive and sometimes unwanted. And yet sometimes they compel us to act in ways that we don't want to be acting, that we lose our sense of equanimity or peace or sanity. So in this practice, we'll be looking to balance between 2 of those channels specifically, between Raga and Dvesha, wanting mind and not wanting mind. The pranayama will also include some movement to allow you to balance your inhale with your exhale, and finally to come to a place of deep inner stillness using exhale suspension. Okay, let's go to class. See you there. Good morning. Welcome for practice. We'll be exploring, again, how to clear the space within us so that the 6 stations of the mind that kind of lurk around the edges or haunt us or intrude often uninvited, how we can clear the space inside so that we can have a relationship with those things versus being overtaken by them. And the 6 stations of the mind are past and future, likes and dislikes, and self and other. So they're kind of polarized, right? Self and other, past and future, wanting and not wanting. And what we know about different spiritual traditions on the planet, not only yoga and Buddhism, but beyond that, is that it is recommended to explore or to understand your wanting and not wanting mind. The mind of craving, desire, clinging, attachment, and the mind of aversion, resistance, hatred, the mind that pushes away. Right? This is called wanting and not wanting, the mind of wanting and not wanting. And it's not just that we have one or the other. We might see ourselves more often falling into wanting mind or not wanting mind, but they are in relationship with one another. So to the extent that I want this, I also don't want that. And to the extent that I don't want that, I would prefer this. So examining the space between those two and finding a place of refuge where we're not tugged by those two things is one of the strongest recommendations. Not that we strategically figure out how to get all that we want and how to avoid all that we want to avoid. That would be a misuse of our vitality and our intelligence, but rather to find that place where we're going to be all right with some bit of craving and some bit of aversion. We're not going to get pulled in ourselves away from our inner center. So please take a comfortable seat and rest your hands in your lap. You're welcome to close your eyes. And even just as you're settling in, listening to those words, you might have brought with you your wanting and not wanting mind. In yoga, the wanting mind is called raga. Experience of desire and clinging is called raga. And the not wanting, the aversion, is called dvesha. There's a third word worth knowing, a third practice or principle called tyaga, which means we give up the lesser desire for the greater desire. We give up this restless wanting and not wanting mind because we are pursuing a higher kind of understanding or a greater desire, perhaps a desire for peace or equanimity or clarity, for example. And drop inside to the place in you that is not captivated by wanting nor by not wanting. You're not beholden to the pursuit nor to the resistance. Please raise your hands to your heart and staying connected to that indwelling place of clarity or sanity or equanimity. May our practice help us to discern the real from the unreal, the truth from the not truth. May we overcome darkness or forgetfulness and come into luminosity or remembering. And may we not mistake the finite for the infinite. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. Now with your exhale, you may bow your head to your heart. And release your hands, and you're welcome to open your eyes. So how to get free from the wanting and the not wanting mind? Recognizing there is something in us that is not captivated by that, we're not tangled in that. That is one of the ways to become more free from Raga and Dvesha, craving and aversion, clinging and resisting. And ultimately, we're looking for equanimity. This, in the word equanimity, we have upeksha, upekshanam from the Yoga Sutras. Upeksha means equanimity or an evenness of mind and heart. So to help ourselves arrive there, it is useful to have some physical release of the physiology of wanting and not wanting mind, feeling like you're swung between those two pendulums. So as you're sitting, go ahead and sit cross-legged or choose Siddhasana, which is when the heels are lined up like this. Reach over and hold your shins or your ankles or your knees. And as you inhale, raise up through your chest and your heart like you're doing cow pose. And then exhale and curl down like you're doing cat pose. Inhale, roll forward and up. Exhale to curl down at your own pace, of course, with your breath cycle. What you might begin doing is lengthen the inhale and the exhale and balance them to be equal to each other. And also acknowledge the pause at the bottom of your exhale and the pause at the top of your inhale. And treat those like moments of stillness. I'll do this one more time. So the next time that you inhale, rise up will be the last one for now. That's cow pose. And then exhale, curl down. And this is like cat pose. And then come to your simple seat. Notice any bit of loosening, like it's already loosened a little bit from wanting and not wanting. Now, as you're sitting cross-legged or in Siddhasana, rotate to your right and place both hands out over your left knee. It can be helpful if you'd like to place your left hand and then secure that with your right hand. Okay, so this adds a little bit of a twist. We're going to inhale to go up like we're doing cow pose. And then exhale to curl down and your back body will round. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, curl down. Of course, you're going to go at your own pace. Curl down one more time. Bring your spine up to neutral and continue with a twist to your right. Walk your right hand behind you, left hand to the outside of your right knee, and rotate to your right. Now, as you rotate to your right, let's inhale, turn only the head to your left. Exhale, rotate your head to the right to add to your twist. And inhale, go left at your own pace. Exhale, right in the timing that is yours. And do that one more time. And then rotate around to face forward and notice what's different. You know, being kind of beholden to the wanting and the not wanting mind, it's kind of contractive. You know, it doesn't lead to a sense of expansion. We're trying to get away from one thing, and then we're hyper focused on getting another thing. So your system ends up with a lot of the stress biochemistry. Let's bring the right hand across to the left knee. You can secure that with your left hand. So facing towards your left knee, inhale, raise up like cow pose. Exhale, curl down. Inhale, roll up. Follow your exhale pace. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, rise up. And follow your exhale to curl down. And then lift your heart, make the spine more neutral. Walk the left hand behind you and rotate to your left. With your inhale, rotate your head to your right. Exhale, turn left so your head joins with the twist, and maybe the twist feels deeper in the inner body, like you're squishing the organs as you exhale to rotate left. And then inhale, turn your head to your right. And follow your pace to do this twice more. And so last time. And then rotate around to face forward. And again, take notice how things are shifted by just a bit of mindful moving, breathing, sensing. Okay, so another thing that can help us is to do what we call blowing off practices, or sometimes I call them off-gassing practices. And that means that we're balancing the O2-CO2 ratio inside so that the mind becomes more clear. There's a bit of silence that can come from that. When we are going about our daily life and we're not breathing effectively or efficiently, we can end up with brain fog simply from breathing improperly. We may not even realize that it's happening because it's sort of normalized. Or, for example, if you work in a setting where the windows don't open and there's it's all recycled air, no fresh air, that can also lead to brain fog because you're not getting your own experience of fresh air coming in. You're breathing, it's breathable air, but it's not the same as having fresh air where recycled air has a different quality to it. So we're going to be doing a blowing off practice or an off-gassing practice now to help our lungs expel what is, let's say, debris, and to bring in what can be beneficial, but also to help the blood cells realize that they can let go of O2 to bring in the fresh O2. So it has to have a process of coming in and going out all the time, moving through us. So for the first one, we'll use the Bellows breath down low in the abdomen. This is a cleansing breath. It's also the time for you to have the sense like you're using your hara. Hara is a word like ha. You're using the hara. So you're pushing the abdomen in, or pulling it in rather, and pressing the breath out. And it sometimes is done with a sound like ha, 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 ha. We're going to do it as a strong exhale, 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 like you're holding a milkshake straw between your lips. So you are tensing or toning your embouchure. So the exhale has to push through that embouchure, but it's like the size of a milkshake straw, not the size of a cocktail straw. So like this. One long exhale now. Breathe in through your nose and inhale fully up to an inhale suspension. And then exhale thoughtfully and completely. At the bottom of that exhale, then totally relax the belly. Let's do that a second time. So the pulse of your rhythm should feel doable for you. May not be the same as my rhythm. We'll do about, some of you will do 20, some will do 40, some might do 60. There's no competition. Okay, begin when you're ready to. Then exhale, a long exhale. Inhale to suspension. And release the bandhas and release the breath as completely as you can. And then completely relax the belly to receive the breath. Now we're going to breathe briskly in through the nose and out through the nose. And it goes like this. We go up on the inhale and then down on the exhale. And this is like determined, like you're pushing out the toxins, you're pushing out the residue. And that residue doesn't mean that you ate toxins or that you are toxic. It just means that we have a residue from daily life and we have a residue from food, particularly if we don't have really good digestion. And then we have the sleeping at night and our body's doing some housekeeping chores and it wants that residue to be released. And so we're releasing that on this strong exhale. And on the inhale, energizing, releasing, energizing, releasing. So it goes like this. Five, four, three, two, one. Inhale. And exhale. And then sit really still. Okay, place your hands on your shoulders. So that included both inhale and exhale and might lead to a little bit of feeling like, oh, the head is vibrating or the body feels very effervescent, right? Even though there's a strong exhale, there was also an inhale that you were drawing in. So you might get a little bit tingly, and that should have faded, or it will be faded completely in the next few moments. So now when we go side to side, this is Kapalabhati with movement. And Kapalabhati is a breath of fire where we're using the solar plexus right through here to press the breath out, 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 like. But we're using the diaphragm, of course, but in the region of the solar plexus. So it's a little bit higher up in the abdomen. It can have a little bit more of a flutter. We're going to do it rhythmically side to side. So exhale, 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 exhale. No real focus on the inhale. Just going to come whatever from the exhale, whatever little retraction of inhale comes in, we just have that much. We're not really focusing on the inhalation. So here we go. Five, four, three, two, one. Come to center and inhale really smoothly. A full inhalation up to suspension. Release the bandhas when you're ready to, and exhale. As you come to sit still, see if you can sit in the silence that is not obstructed by wanting or not wanting mind. That should also give you a sense of some mental peace or silence, but some energy like around the edges, right? Some kind of effervescence, I like to call it that. You may now have a capacity for a deeper inhale and a more complete exhale, but we'll move to another cleansing practice. In this case, we're going to be lying down. You'll want to have a wingspan available to you, like the distance of a snow angel. So you may have to move some things out of your way. Please come to lying on your back. When we first come down, we're going to do just a very simple technique, and then we will be taking the arms out into a T shape. So you check and see that you've got the space for that, and that you could do a snow angel. Okay. Please bring the knees up to the chest, hold behind your hamstrings. And now as you inhale, the idea is we simply straighten the arms and allow the knees to move away from the chest because the inhale fills the torso. On the exhale, we're going to help the breath to leave by squeezing the knees towards the chest. So this is a practice we call apanasana. We're also addressing the apanavayu, which is in the lower abdomen. And apanavayu, its responsibility is the downward flow of prana. Its duty is elimination. So what we do here is we support that by squeezing the belly on the exhale, giving the abdomen space to fill up on the inhale. So let's begin here with the in-breath. And then exhale, knees to chest. Inhale, slowly fill the abdomen, lowest part of the belly, mid-belly, upper belly, and the heart. And exhale to squeeze, of course, at your own rhythm, at the pace that is yours for your breath cycle to be free from wanting or not wanting mind. And then exhale and touch your feet back down to the floor and relax for a few moments to see what the mind does with something more simple and more subtle. And so we're going to now be using that snow angel position where the arms get to go overhead. And, ideally, your arms are able to move and stay close to the floor. But we have different shoulder flexibility. You might find that as your arms go up, you don't have the shoulder flexibility. Your arms will end up somewhere like here versus being here. So I'm going to encourage you to have it be close to the floor, but of course, respect your shoulders. If we do here the inhalation, the first third of the breath, the arms move 1/3 the way. The middle third of the breath, the arms go the next third of the way. And the upper third of the breath, the arms take the last third of the movement. Okay, and so the breath will be continuous and the movement of the arms is not going to get interrupted, but I want you to sense that you're pacing it in that manner. Okay, so let's begin with inhale. And then follow your exhale. So the exhale breath is going to start at the base of the pelvis, move up through the inner abdomen. Even though the arms are coming down, the breath is going up and out through the nose. Do one more exhale, making the breath equal between exhale and inhale. Okay, so that's not too demanding. And in that sequence, the spine stays on the floor. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add a sequence to it. So the inhale, the arms are going to go overhead like this. On the exhale, the knees will come to the chest like Apanavayu, Apanasana. On the next inhale, the feet will go down to the floor and we're going to raise the hips up. And then we'll be exhaling to come back down and we'll roll the spine down kind of like vertebrae by vertebrae. Very famous, right? And then we'll inhale, float the arms up and exhale to float them down. Right, and each part of the breath is going to be relatively equal. So I'll talk you through, and of course, my pace cannot be perfectly your pace. So you go with your pace once you understand the choreography. So here's the inhalation. Exhale, knees to chest. Inhale, feet to the floor, and then raise your hips. Exhale, roll the spine down, keep the arms overhead. Inhale, raise your arms. Exhale, arms down alongside your feet. Inhale, arms wide and overhead at your pace. Exhale, knees to chest. Inhale, bridge pose. Exhale, roll down, one vertebrae at a time. Inhale, raise your arms slowly at the pace of the breath. Exhale to lower, and then do the sequence one more time at the pace of your breath still. So loyal to that. Inhale, equal to exhale. And then allow yourself to totally relax and notice how much concentration was required. Right? And in that period of concentration, you may have had little blips of wanting or not wanting mind, but your primary focus can be on the concentration and the inner experience of peace within your efforts. And please roll to your side and come up. Come up to kneeling. Okay. So these are cleansing practices because of how you're working the abdomen and the organs in the abdomen. And now we're going to be using child's pose, but also a pose where we raise up high on the knees. It's a back bend pose. It won't look like a back bend, but it is more spinal extension versus spinal flexion. So the spinal flexion is going to be down like this. Spinal extension is up like this. So something that's really important is when you're coming down, you don't feel like you're going to fall on your head. You're definitely not going to want to fall forward. That's not cleansing. So you could put a blanket to raise the floor up. If you're someone for whom, when you're coming down into child's pose, you feel like your pose is going to fall forward, definitely better to have support for your head to rest on something, but don't think of your head as also breaking your fall. It's really that your hips are coming down to your heels and the torso is folding over your thighs all together. Okay, so let's try it at the pace of your breath, balancing inhale with exhale. Here's the start of my inhale. Twice more. And then rise up to kneeling and sit in Vajrasana. And if Vajrasana is not comfortable for you, of course, put something under your hips or support your knees so it's more comfortable. Don't make it a position where naturally your wanting and not wanting mind are going to get activated because you're physically uncomfortable with something that you can make a slight adjustment about. And we'll finish with a practice called Korma Mudra. We're going to be folding forward with the fists in the lower belly. And on the exhale, 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 we squeeze the belly. At the bottom of that exhale, when the head is supported by the blanket, the floor, by something, at the bottom of that exhale, when you've squeezed the breath out, then you're going to relax your exhale muscles without inhaling. It's going to cause an internal suction. Then you'll tone the exhale muscles before you inhale to come back up. So place your fists on the low belly. Begin with an inhalation. And exhale. And then you have the exhale suction. You're not inhaling. When it's time for you, you're going to tone the belly and then inhale to rise back up to kneeling. And that'll be considered one round. And you can either do these consecutively. If you get comfortable with it, you can do it one exhale, inhale. You can do it consecutively, no rushing, of course. Or you can do one and then pause and do another and then pause. If you're doing it consecutively, let's do 5. If you're doing it one and then pausing, do the numbers that it takes for us to do 5. Could be 2, could be 3, probably it's not 7, something like that. Okay, so here's the inhalation. You need to stay down longer than your comfort level. So each time you're in the exhale suspension, it's based on your comfort level and your maturity in the practice. Complete 5 times, or you're working through the numbers that it takes for the general class to do 5. Then come up to Vajrasana and relax your mind in stillness. Take a seat for a few minutes of meditation to see if, in fact, you can be free from wanting and not wanting mind. Is it possible to rest in the silence now? Know that even by your practice, you've already made your brain more likely to practice equanimity, upekshanam. You have increased your resilience. You've benefited your heart rate variability, your vagal tone, many benefits. So now we sit in quiet. raise your hands to your heart. You may find not only does the mind become quiet, but the breath is very subtle and relatively still as well. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining us for this practice. I hope you have a tranquil mind and you are not caught between wanting and not wanting, Raga and Dvesha. If you have questions about the practice, please leave those in the comments down below. If you have questions about yoga teacher training, leave us a comment down below as well, and also check the link in the description and on this video right here. If you have not yet, please do subscribe to the channel and hit the like button for the practices that work well for you. Thank you very much. Namaste.